Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very, very first episode of the Listening World podcast. We are very excited. I am your host, Sara Joy O'Neill. And in this first episode, we're going to talk to some of the people behind the Listening World organization. I'm here with Kateřina Fišerová and Brian Smyers, and myself, Sara Joy O'Neill. And as you can see behind me, we just had the holidays and I'm still feeling festive. So, Kateřina, how about you start us off and tell us a bit about how the Listening World came into being?
Okay. I just thinking that I can count with this question, why I'm so surprised. I am surprised. It's many, many, many years ago when we started to realize with my friend Carolina that listening is really powerful thing. It's something more than we believed or we was learned that it's listening. And we started to teach people how to listen. It was funny. It was really funny. And I think that maybe in some of our next episode, I will share more about it. But if I want to be short, we just had lovely experience how our lives was changed when we started listen a little bit better. And we believe that we already know it and we started to teach. But the whole story started after that. Because during the workshops, what we did for people in the different towns, we really start to see that if we listen better, it's inevitable that we will see and discover more and more wisdom for ourselves and feel more and more connection with the life and with the people around us. And then real magic really started. And then I met you too. I don't know. It's 1,000 years from me now. It's really a long time ago, but maybe it's 3 years from now. I'm not sure.
We met 1,000 years ago. Yes.
Yes, agree. And it was in the moment when we really established the Czech Listen project, like something like workshops where everybody from the street can come and just have some experience with listening, how it feel when someone really listen to you, and do some exercises and have fun about it. And it was like real project with the volunteers, and we did it in, I don't know, I don't want to lie, it was something like 60 or 70 towns in the Czech Republic, and we had some great responses from the Slovak Republic and German. And when I met you too, you were like the catalyst of everything, because we met each other in the Genius Catalyst program of Michael, and we got idea, oh, let's do it globally. And then for me, the story about we want to teach, and then we saw more, and we got more humbleness is the word, maybe. Did the story just happen again? But we want to teach, and then we saw that there is nothing to teach. But when we really start to listen, you see more and more and more. And yeah. And then the idea, okay, let's do it in the Prague, like some huge thing. And we agree on the creating the first Listening World Summit 3 years ago. And we did. And it was amazing. And now we are here still absolutely crazy in love with the power of listening. And I think that the podcast is just this other thing, how we can share the same what we do on the summit as well. Yeah, I hope I answer your question because it's after. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I remember when you were talking about the 60 to 70 towns in the Czech Republic and Slovak Republic, and I think Poland was one, and Germany, and it just blew me away because you were talking about how people, when they felt for themselves what listening did, they couldn't get enough of it. And they wanted more and wanted more, and it just kept going, going, going. And the universality of approaching the space of who we are as listening to life, listening to ourselves, listening to others, just really hit me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was natural. It was like, but it was a good thing that it was so natural for people that they know it and they wanted to have more of it. But now I can see it from the retrospective a little bit differently. But in the same time, it create something like false belief that you need to visit the workshops to listen. That it's something special what you are doing in the some kind of conversation, but no in the ordinary life. But I think that we are working on it now, that it's the most nature and ordinary thing for every day. And I think it's our goal here in this podcast to speak about this, how extra and ordinary listening is. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Very much.
So Brian, what is extra and ordinary about listening?
Well, it's funny because, when we first started this, when, you and I first kind of got into this and we did our own little workshop, I found it interesting and I did my first workshop with a group of men, and it was very interesting that most of them thought they were good listeners until I told them that they couldn't interject. They couldn't ask any questions. And all of a sudden they recognized, oh, I'm not a good listener. I'm trying to direct the conversation. And I think that's one of the things for me when I first really started to grasp listening. I'm just letting the other person kind of speak like a fire hose and just let it all out. If something occurs to me that I should chime in about or is very, makes me inquisitive, I file that away until there's a pause, a natural pause in their speech that then I might ask that. But by then it might not be pertinent anymore. The thing about listening is it's for the other person as much as it is for you. It's to allow them to express themselves, not for you to express what you'd like from them. And so, anyway, in this workshop, have all these guys recognize I'm not a great listener, and they went home. And I got a call the next week from the gentleman who set it up, because this was for a church men's group, and the wives group would like me to come talk with them because their husbands had made such a change just from a little short workshop of I need to listen better. I need to not ask what I want, but let you express what you're looking to. And so all the wives thought it was amazing. So a few weeks later, I had a session with them and we talked about what I did. And it was so funny. And from that, I recognized, oh my goodness, we can impact so many lives by just holding, as we were doing at the time, little workshops to help people learn how to listen better. Not that they weren't listening, but they were listening for themselves, not for the other person. I'm listening to hear what I want out of the conversation. I'm not listening for what you want to tell me. It was kind of what we were seeing from a men's point of view at the time. And so I really take a look at that and go, oh, what is this person trying to express to me? That to me is that's the most fun of it, is I don't know. I get to explore with them. It's a fun playground.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how you talked about the husbands went home and whatever they saw, the wives were like, I want that. And so it is ordinary life. It is. And I think where people, because Kat, you were saying people felt like they had to go to a workshop outside of their daily life to listen. People don't realize how extraordinary life in general is. They think maybe the negative habits of thought or the feeling tired, they think the negative bits are life. And one thing that keeps me fascinated by listening is the more I listen to whatever, whether it's another person or myself, it doesn't even matter. But the more I listen in general, the more magical ordinary life becomes. And I keep thinking, it's funny because I keep thinking, oh, okay, it's really magical now. It just gets better. Just you wait. So Kat, what I'm curious, because we talk a lot about listening and listening better, and Brian spoke a bit to this, but say someone has no idea what we're talking about right now. What would you say simply listening, just listening is?
Okay. I see really interesting that we want to understand this question, because so many people ask me the same question. But I'm 100% sure that when I will come to you and just, start to speak to you, Sarah, please, can you just give attention to me? I really need to say something. You will start listening without understanding what does it mean. I just want to say that it's something what it's so natural for us. It's like air. We just don't realize it, that we already. I know what does it mean. In our hearts, I'm sure that every one of you, without your intellect, has just feeling what it means. That you know the feeling if somebody listened to you or not. You know what does it mean. You have the feeling. But okay, if I need to explain, I will say something like, listen to you without nothing on my mind. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can make it complicated if it's necessary, but I
I
don't
don't
want.
think it's necessary to make it complicated.
The whole thing we're trying to do is simplify this, or actually show how simple it really is ultimately,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. As you were talking, an image came to mind of when my kids were babies. If
Mm-hmm.
you went to visit So parents with babies often go to visit other parents with babies, and they put their babies together to play. And yes, Sarah, where are you going with this? So, so it always struck me, and I would see this over and over again with babies. When you put them together, two babies about the same age will be so fascinated by each other. And they listen to each other. And I remember they would babble or talk, and it was back and forth. And often they would pat each other's cheeks. They would just sit and they would be so fascinated and they go, oh. But it was like you could see this like connection and listening. They were listening to each other and they were so excited to be together with someone who was their own age, I guess. Hey, you're just like me. And it's just that being with someone with whatever they want to bring and express. And yeah, which is so cool. So you said, and either of you, maybe Brian, now this is something Kat said at the very beginning, was listening is a very powerful thing. And you were initially struck by the power of it that you hadn't realized. And I feel like I would love it if Brian could say something about that, even though it was something that Kat said.
Well, again, for me, I found the power behind it is I get a better sense of the other person because I'm letting them be themselves fully. I'm not trying to curtail what they're saying. I'm not really looking to ask more questions about something they may not want to talk about. I let them express themselves. And there's a light that comes on when you do that in the other person. There's a freedom all of a sudden, I think, that they see and sense. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I can really talk about whatever it is. And it's funny because a lot of the times it's really simple conversation that all of a sudden we dive off this cliff and it goes really deep. And I don't know what that is, but I love when that happens because I think it's in holding a space for them to allow them to be themselves and then to go explore other things because they feel comfortable that you're not judging. You're just listening. You're just letting them tell their story, as it were. And sometimes you see it's a story, and sometimes I go, is that true? And sometimes they go, well, no, not really. That's fun because sometimes I recognize myself in the story. It's the reason why I asked that question. And I think that's the other part that intrigues me is seeing myself in their story. What would I maybe have done? And it's always after the fact because I pick up the pieces. It's never kind of in that moment because I'm listening to them. It's after when I ruminate about pieces, drops that they left along the way for me to pick up later. I like finding those little nuggets, you know, and I didn't know they would drop there. I find them later. It's kind of fun.
I really love what you said. I realized for myself that what you see like power that is happening with the other people when we listen to them, I see like power for myself. It's mean when I'm listening to allow myself to be real me. And it sounds a little bit like, but you are listen. It's mean you are not behave like you because you need to shut up and listen. No, because it's like that. My real me became more real because we can listen and then respond, and we can see more, and we are more ourselves as well. Just the small me is the part of me what needs to be silent, like not listen to the, I don't know how to say it, like good way, but my little silly Katya needs to shut up. And my real me starts to behave like real me. And it's like the reconnection with others, but reconnection with real me as well in the moment. Oh. I spoke with my friend about compromises a few days ago. And it's the word what lost meaning for me when I started to listen more in my life. Because compromise for me was something that you don't want to have what you want, the other person don't have what they want, and you are somewhere and nobody is really happy. The both sides are pretending that it's, things of adult to agree on something and don't be happy with it, but I but I saw so many times with listening that something in me is real happy with the new solution what we find to the I had a lot of fear on the beginning. Oh, if I will start to listen to it's mean I will need to change my mind because you convinced me or something like that. But I saw so many times be really happy with the new solution what we found. It wasn't like compromise. It was absolutely new thing. And it's other thing why is listening so powerful and ordinary because it's happening every time. Like, do you have the same experience or?
Yeah. I hadn't thought about compromise in a while. Like as a just, what does that look like to me?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. When you listen together with someone, something new emerges. And even as basic as the connection between two people is something new. Not really new. I mean, like we're all connected, we're all one, we're all connected all the time. But it's like the feeling, even someone I've been friends with for a long time, if we're in a space of really listening, it's like Mavis Karn talks about there's a golden cord that goes from your heart to their heart. And every time I feel that, it feels like it's new in that moment. There's a new connection. Something has been created out of nothing. And the relating to each other. But then, yeah, if you're then looking to do something in the world or totally new ideas come to both of you that would have never come to one or the other on your own, I think. Yeah, that sort of sparking. You both light up and start sparking, throwing off fire. Which is why we called our online program Listening to Ignite the Human Spirit. That new emerging. Yeah.
Can I have question?
You can have questions.
I can have questions.
You can have a question. You just one here. Here you go.
You might not get an answer, but that's okay.
Okay, why do you want to do the podcast about listening?
Because you said, let's do a podcast about listening. And it sounded fun. And I said, okay. And here we are. So a lot of my why do I do something is it sounded fun. Now I can probably
Okay.
come up with more of an answer.
You say that, but honestly, that's a huge part of it. The two of you said, "Hey, let's do this," and I'm thinking we can reach more people, even if it's one person. Doesn't matter. We reach one extra person. Yay! Okay, you know, I love the both of you so much. It's a joy to have spend time with you.
Yeah. And yeah. And I love that. I really love to speak with you about things what we need to do. Do you know our to-do list as well?
Mhm.
But oh my God, I really want to explore here with you or with the guests or with everybody who will want to speak with us and listen. Just about ordinary life and the listening, what it's mean and how it's feel, and maybe really to speak really to speak more about the powerfulness of it.
See, I thought part of and on the other side, real quick, for me on this was the whole idea of the thing about a podcast is listening. You're listening to other people speak, express their opinions, but that's exactly what we're talking about. And what a nice place to do it, and then show people how to do that possibly a bit deeper and
Mm.
touch them in a different way. I'm looking forward to possibly doing that.
The idea of speaking to all kinds of different people about listening, which then becomes a conversation about connection and love and new things emerging, or the idea of talking with different people about that was very exciting to me, because I know everyone's going to have their own little flavor or way of seeing it or experiencing it that will all be different. And I won't even know what's going to come out.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I love that. I love not knowing. I don't know. As I say, I don't know, and I'm talking about that, the two of you look like you're sitting there with stars in your eyes.
I'm sitting there thinking about the don't know, and again saying that's what I love about listening and letting them tell their story or whatever they're talking about. I don't know where it's going. It's a lot of fun to not know. If we watch something or we've seen it a couple times, once or twice, man, I don't care at all anymore about it. And isn't it funny, those stories sometimes that we've listened to from probably friends and family most, where we've heard this same story from them, the story that they tell at Christmas, every Christmas, blah, blah, blah. Well, this year I listened to somebody tell the same story and I heard something different. It was the same story, but I heard it from a different level because I stopped judging the story and I just listened to them tell it. And it's funny because I hadn't really thought about this till right now, just occurring to me. But it was interesting that when I took the personal part out of it, kind of, and my personal part that I had towards this person in this story, the story made a lot more sense to me, and it became a deeper story, and I understood it better. And recognized that a lot of my judgment about it was misguided.
So Kateřina, you were lighting up and want to talk not knowing.
Mm.
I'm talking about not know. You went, ah. So I don't know if that's still a thing you would like to speak about.
It's interesting. I stood silent, and Brian said more about what I wanted to say. It's mean I don't know if I need to say something now.
It went from your square to his square.
Yeah. I believe so many times per day that I already know what you want to say. But it's amazing red light just to say stop. You are not listening. You have no idea. Just remind us you have no idea. Come back to the present. You are not a god from this perspective. You have no idea what they want to say. You have no idea what is beyond. Stop and wait. Wait. Red light. Wait. And I had one amazing story, but there is so difficult English words in it that I had no idea if I'm able to share the story. Anyway, I will prepare myself for the next time. For the next episode, I will be ready with an amazing, funny story.
Hey, go ahead and say it in Czech. We are listening. We are listening here.
We'll figure it out.
Exactly. We can translate it, right? Please tell the story.
Oh no. No. It's about a movie. Do you know the series about Ted Lasso? It was the football trainer.
Yes. I love Ted Lasso.
Right. There was a part. They play some game in the pub. I don't know. What does it mean?
Uh-huh.
With the
pong. Yeah. Oh, the darts. Yeah, they're throwing darts.
probably.
They're throwing darts at the dartboard. Yes.
Yeah. And he made a deal with some guy. Like the guy just challenged him, if you win, I will do what you want, but you will not win. And they played a game, and the Ted Lasso, won. And then he told him, you wasn't curious. If you was curious, you would ask me if I have experience with playing this game before. But you didn't ask me. You already know that I'm bad in it, And I think it's the same point, being curious, like listening. Like, if I already know what you want to say, silly me, pure me, poor me. Yeah.
No, I like that episode. I know that episode, and he's, very much like, well, you didn't know. And he's not even kind of looking, and he's throwing the darts. He's, yeah, well, I've done this with my father since I was like 10 years old. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we don't ask, we don't listen. Isn't it interesting? We think we know so much. And it's funny, the more I find I know, the more I find I don't know. Because what I found that I know, I thought something different about.
Mm.
It's never been what I initially thought it was. It's always something different.
Yeah. Yeah, we make up. I've been seeing myself do this lately and then stopping. We make up what we think is going to happen. And then we stop. It was like I could feel myself stopping listening to life in the moment because I knew what was going to happen. And then literally my brain filtered everything else out. So it was like a self-fulfilling almost, not quite. I mean, things happen that you're not expecting, but yeah. And in stopping doing that, it's so interesting. Like it's fun again and it's like new and fresh and you start to listen. I wrote down because I had different things or questions or before coming in. I wrote down we're designed to listen. I like how you were talking, Kat, how listening is natural. We all know how before we learned, because most adults have learned different ways of how we're supposed to listen.
Yeah.
But before all that, we know how to listen.
Mhm.
Yeah. Also, in doing this podcast, this is a bit of I'm jumping to a different thing right now. Fun. I want to have fun. And a lot of times when people talk about spiritual things I don't really know where I'm going right now. We'll see what I'll say. There's a lot of seriousness and or thinking that life is serious. And I love when life to me is fun and lighthearted. And so I thought this podcast could be lighthearted and fun.
Yes,
So
I'm
far,
with you.
so far it has been. Good, I'm glad you're with me. We didn't talk about this, on air. No, it has to be serious, Sarah.
Do you know
I don't
what I saw?
I think you already
love
know,
you.
but the three of us, it's never going to be that serious.
Nobody ever comes to me for seriousness. I don't know why.
Oh my God, I'm so grateful for that. That every time at least one of us will not be serious.
This is true. Anytime we've been together, anytime there's been some tension, one of us seems to know how to lighten it up. That's makes it nice.
Oh, but now I will be serious. I saw so many people just when they realized how listening is powerful, they in a sense start to judge themselves about how they are listening, and they are not, good listeners, and they start to punish themselves, and from something what's nature for us, and for us it's nature to really listening, but for our mind it's nature to flow away and have fun with something else and with our own thoughts sometimes, and then again with you, and then with my own. It's nature as well. There is no fault. It's mean if you please people, if you will be like me sometimes and start judge yourself and taking everything what you see about life so serious, you are still like us. It's okay. Don't worry. You are still a good listener. Nothing happens. And just listen again, because then you will feel that you are okay. You are loved. There is no problem at all. Yeah.
Brian.
There's not much I can add to you or love, and there's no problem at all. I'm sitting there thinking, I can't add anything at all to that.
Sorry, but you want to simplifies, and
No, I totally agree. That's why I was just trying to figure out, like, I can't fish any deeper than that.
okay.
What would either of you, overall wish for the listening world be?
Can you say differently for me the question?
I will maybe say it as a choice of two.
So, well,
So,
let me answer and
or
see
Brian will say his
what she
bit.
thinks. For me, my as I said, my goal is to see if we can help one person at a time listen better.
Mhm.
If we can just get one person to listen better, who then goes and listens to somebody else who says, "Oh, you listen different than other people. Where'd you learn to do that?" And just let it snowball. That's my goal. It doesn't have to be big. It's to incremental steps and help people see where they're listening really, really well already, because a lot of people do, but help them where they're falling a little short. That's it. And then let it snowball. So my goal for this is to just, movements start small and they get bigger and bigger. That's where we're at. Kat, does that help you understand the question? What's your goal? What would you like to see for the listening world?
I still have a simple answer and I try to make it a different way, but it's still the same. I just really want to feel more love in the world. And for now, I just feel that the direction with the listening is the best thing what I am able to offer, like to show people. And it's why I'm doing this. And yeah, I want to uncover more love in the world because everybody is from the same stuff like we are. Every human being is able to listen really, is able to behave from their true self, from the love. They just don't know who they are. They just don't know that listening is enough. They just don't know that they don't have to listen to everything of what is in their minds. And it seems like, oh, let's play this game and just telling them what we see. And what Sarah said, that I don't know if the word is, I don't know, correct, but we don't see the ordinary miracles, how life is amazing. And I just see that when people start to listen a little bit better, they start to see it in their lives as well. That it's only my life is beautiful and your is full of shit. No, it's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, more love for the world. It's my answer.
Good answer. You started to say the words that were coming to my mind as I listened to you, and that was a very interesting experience. It was like I was a teleprompter, but you didn't know. For me, I always come back to the feeling if you are a human being who was born on this planet, so that's me. It's you. Maybe I think it's everybody. I think if you are a human being born on this planet, I think that it's good to know the fullness of who you are and what is our natural way of what is natural for us? How are we designed? How do we operate? Because it is so amazing and life is so full of miracles. And if I look back in my whole life, I would get teased when I was in high school or my 20s because I thought everything was so fun. And I would find such joy in doing the laundry. Or I would tell my friends, oh my God, I had this amazing cookie. They're like, Sarah, it's a cookie. But everything is so amazing. And listening is so, so natural. and so much comes out of it. It's so simple because life is simple and miraculous. And I think if you're here, it's good to know that. And then you can do what you want with it. Yeah. And, love.
I hear they say it makes the world go round.
It's a little bit it feels a little bit good. I like love.
A little bit good, a little bit good. It's amazing.
It's great. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. So, anything else before we wrap up?
If you're still here listening, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
yay. And we will be happy to see you, in the May in Prague.
Yep. And we hope you listen to our next episode.
Yes. If you like it, comment. If you don't like it,
Comment.
comment.
We're listening.
We are listening, and we will be happy for everything what you write. And maybe if you will have some suggestion about our next guests, I mean the people who will speak, or you want to speak with us, write it. We are
And
listening.
speaking of next guests, we're going to be speaking with a number of the speakers at the upcoming Prague summit called Just Together in 2026. And it's about just the joy of being together with others with that love and connection. And I love what emerges. Each summit in Prague has been different and like so exciting because we don't know what's going to emerge. And it's been so fun and light and new things. And we're having a new moderator this year, and I'm pretty sure we're going to speak to him next, Michael Imus of the Beyond Skepticism podcast. So that's going to be super. I'm actually really excited about that. Yeah.
Me too.
As am I. He's a very interesting person.
Mhm. Yeah, I can't wait. Let's stop it and start to do other podcasts with Michael. Can we call him now?
Okay, let's go quick.
Okay, guys.
All right, everyone. So thank you for listening, and we will be here to listen with you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.